FIFA is currently investigating Argentina for what happened at the end of the World Cup final. A violent confrontation. Players involved. A member of the coaching staff apparently in the middle of it. That investigation is live, right now, as I'm speaking. And we've just learned that while that investigation was being opened, the president of FIFA sat down and wrote Argentina a letter praising their professionalism. Not a typo. Professionalism. That word is in the letter. And once you see the timeline, you'll understand why this has blown up the way it has, because this isn't a rumor or a leak from an anonymous source. This letter has been verified. So let's go through it line by line. Here's the setup. The final took place on Sunday, July 19th, at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 after extra time. And it's worth pausing on how that game actually went for Argentina, because it matters for what comes next. The reigning champions did not manage a single shot on target across the entire final. Not one. In the biggest match in world football, with everything on the line, they couldn't force the goalkeeper into a single save. Then the whistle went, and the trouble started. As Luis de la Fuente's Spain side went up to lift the trophy, the Argentina players turned their backs. And in the chaos that followed, a physical confrontation broke out. According to reports, Leandro Paredes went after Eric Garcia. Nahuel Molina, Thiago Almada, and assistant coach Roberto Ayala also appeared to be involved in the incident. FIFA opened an investigation into it. That investigation is ongoing. So that's the situation. A brawl at the end of the World Cup final, under formal investigation by football's governing body. Now here's the letter. A private message from Gianni Infantino to Claudio Tapia, the president of the Argentine Football Association, was made public. It first surfaced through media outlets in Argentina, and it was then independently verified by the Daily Mail. So we're not dealing with a screenshot from an anonymous account here. This is a real document. And it opens like this. Dear Mr. President, yesterday, Sunday, July 19, 2026, at the magnificent New York, New Jersey Stadium, Argentina won the silver medal of the FIFA World Cup 2026 after an exciting final against Spain. I would like to reiterate my most sincere congratulations for this important new result for Argentine soccer. Read the date again. Yesterday. That word tells you everything about the timing. He's writing on the 20th about the 19th. This letter was composed within 24 hours of the final whistle. Within 24 hours of the confrontation everyone had already seen, because those clips were circling the entire planet by then. He wasn't writing before the news broke. He was writing after. He continues, the FIFA World Cup 2026 will remain in memory as an unforgettable celebration of football, marked by spectacular matches, the eruption of new promises, the presence of the great figures of the sport and the extraordinary atmosphere lived in stadiums full of fans. An unforgettable celebration of football. That's how the president of FIFA chose to summarize a tournament that ended with his own organization opening a disciplinary case into the losing finalists. Then comes the part that's actually causing the damage. The magnificent performance of the Albiceleste also contributed decisively to making this edition an exceptional event that captivated millions of football enthusiasts around the world. And then the line. These victories are always the fruit of constant work, professionalism and attention to detail, but also of passion, commitment and love for this wonderful sport. Professionalism. Sit with that for a second. FIFA's own disciplinary process is examining whether Argentina players behaved acceptably at the end of the final. And FIFA's president, in writing in a letter to their federation, is crediting that same squad with professionalism and attention to detail. Now, some people will defend this, and I want to be fair about it because there is a reasonable case. These congratulatory letters are routine diplomatic correspondence. FIFA presidents send them to finalists as a matter of course. It's protocol. The language is boilerplate, the sentiments are generic, and nobody involved expects the thing to be read as a legal document. Infantino almost certainly didn't sit there weighing every word, and he obviously wasn't drafting a verdict on the investigation. That's all true. And it still doesn't get him out of this. Because when your organization has just opened a case into a team's conduct, the correct move is to say nothing about their conduct. You send congratulations on the result and you stop. You don't reach for the word professionalism. Either somebody in that building wasn't paying attention, or nobody thought it mattered. And honestly, I'm not sure which of those is worse. Because here's why it lands so hard with fans. It fits a pattern people already believe in. Argentina's entire campaign was dogged by accusations of gamesmanship and simulation. That was the running complaint through the whole tournament, match after match. Fans of half a dozen nations spent weeks arguing that Argentina were getting away with things other teams wouldn't. And every time, the response from the top was silence. No comment. Nothing to see. Then the tournament ends in a brawl, and the first thing to emerge from FIFA's president isn't a word of concern. It's a thank you note praising their professionalism. That's the story, not the letter itself. Contras. Because it tells the audience something they suspected all along, that the relationship between FIFA's leadership and certain federations is warmer than the relationship between FIFA and the rulebook. And this is where the credibility problem gets serious. What happens now if that investigation concludes with a light punishment, or no punishment at all? How does FIFA sell that outcome to the rest of the world when the president has already put his praise in writing? Any sanction that comes out of this now looks compromised, because the boss went on record first. And any decision to do nothing looks exactly like what the cynics predicted. That's the trap FIFA has walked into. There is no clean way out of it now. Punish Argentina, and you contradict your own president. Don't punish them, and you confirm every accusation of favoritism. The letter has poisoned the outcome before the outcome exists. There's a broader point buried in here too, and it's the one worth remembering after the outrage fades. An organization that governs a sport has to be careful about the difference between diplomacy and endorsement. FIFA is supposed to sit above all 200 plus of its members, applying the same standard to everyone. The moment it starts sounding like a friend to some of them, it stops looking like a referee. And once that happens, every future decision gets read through that lens, fairly or not. So where does this leave us? With a verified letter, an active investigation, and a governing body that has managed to undermine its own process before it's even finished. Argentina's players may well face consequences for what happened in New York. Or they may not. Either way, thanks to one word in one paragraph, hardly anyone is going to believe the process was clean. What do you make of it? Is this just harmless diplomatic protocol being blown out of proportion? Or is it exactly the kind of thing that shows how FIFA really operates? Tell me in the comments, because I want to see where you land on this one. And if you want to know what that investigation actually produces, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because we'll be covering it the moment it drops.